Hey everyone, my name's Maddie. I'm a 22-year-old competitive boulderer from Canada, currently living near Frankfurt, Germany. Welcome back to the COMPCLIMB training series, where I record my training here and there, do my best to describe each session, and just chat about climbing with an emphasis on competition. So it is currently 11 p.m. here in Langen, and I am recording our COMPCLIMB after a very, very long day. My day started at 7:30 in the morning, and I left for the Langen station, and I got home around 8:30 p.m. I had a lot to do today. I had a full session at Boulderwelt, Frankfurt, and then I went to physio halfway through the day. I actually got dry needling, which if any of you guys have ever had that before, it's touch and go for sure as to whether I can train or not after. It's quite... it's difficult on your body, and sometimes you can be so sore that you can't. Like, I've had this in the past where I got a dry needle and I could not go after. So that was halfway through the day, so that was kind of risky, but that was the only appointment I could get. And it also sucks because we don't have a car, so getting to a physio appointment is no longer as easy as it was back when we were in Canada. So yeah, that's what I had to do today for the first time in Germany, which is cool. At least I could find someone to do it for me, so hopefully it'll work out. And then, of course, I had another session. I decided to go check out a new gym, and they just had a comp, so I wanted to go get on those comp boulders. And then we had just some miscellaneous workout stuff. And today I actually filmed a little bit of my workout, so you'll be able to see that. So we started in Frankfurt. It's really early in the morning, and I've never been to Frankfurt actually this early, so it's pretty quiet in the gym. There's almost no one here. And this was the first climb I tried, and right away I got it. I've been struggling lately with like power and just feeling good on the wall after rest month. But today was like my first day of like hope. Like today I was finally like, okay, I'm getting there. Now I know you're just watching me like slip around on this start, which I flashed this the first time and now I can't even start it. But no, this is probably the best day I've had since rest month ended. So I'm really psyched about that. I am actually one day away from rest week. So it's interesting that it's like coming now, but I think now that I've done 3 weeks of training, solid training, I'm finally back into the rhythm of it, and I'm starting to not be trying to recover from rest month, but rather just training now, which is awesome. So today is on-siting repeats, and I decided to try out some caffeine. Maybe that's also part of the reason I felt so good today. But yeah, I've been just feeling really, really fatigued and tired. So I thought, I have like sport-approved caffeine in my cabinet. I don't have very many sport supplements. I use whey here and there. I have Crealkaline, which I use during the season. And then I have my caffeine powder. And I use them all very sporadically at different times in the season. So yeah, I used caffeine today, which I haven't used in a while. I don't drink coffee. I used to drink coffee a little bit, but I finally decided that I don't like coffee. So I ditched it. I used to like water it down, or milk it down, I should say, with like, artificial sweeteners and almond milk. And it's not even coffee anymore at that point. So I haven't done coffee in a while. So when I take caffeine now, it like really hits me, which is perfect. For training at least. And I think going forward, I'll probably do caffeine for a little bit, but I want to go off and on. I don't want to get used to it like Zach's used to it. Like he has like 6 espressos a day or something like that. I'll never get to that point, but it's really good to be sporadic with it, so you really notice it during training. So since I was feeling so good today, I decided to get on some things that I would usually kind of shy away from. Like when I was just getting back from rest month, I was just getting on stuff I was comfortable with already. So I decided to get on some 9s. 9 is the highest level at Boulderwelt. Doesn't mean that all 9s are created equal, of course, but generally speaking, 9s are the hardest climbs. So I've kind of been shying away from the hardest climbs at gyms lately, just because I didn't feel like I was quite there, but I'm starting to realize that like I'm just right back there. So usually when I train, I am just getting on the hardest boulders or the second hardest grade. So finally in Boulderwelt, I'm getting back on it. And this 9 went in 3 attempts. And it was awesome because it's on-siting. So I was able to on-site a 9, which I'm really psyched about. I spent a long time sequencing it, which is good because it wasn't a 5 on 5 off. So when I'm on-siting, I can take more time to sequence than I can when I'm just doing a 5 on 5 off. And I try to sequence as much as I would in a comp. So when I'm just on-sighting, I get to kind of look at the boulder a little bit longer and get like a way better like first attempt in. And then we moved on to this guy over here. I have done this boulder probably 3 times now in 3 different sessions. And today I decided to get back on it because I really want to dial this move in. And here's my second attempt, and it goes immediately. And if you remember, the tip I had with this one was hips. You got to have your hips really close to the wall. So again, I literally out loud whispered hips, and that's exactly how I did the boulder again so quickly. So I was really, really psyched about that. And you can see I was like dancing a little bit. I was actually listening to my MP3 player the whole session, mostly because I was filming with my camera and I can't film and listen to music at the same time. But I also like using my MP3 player because in comps you have to use like an MP3 player or just some sort of device that does not Bluetooth or Wi-Fi enabled. So I actually have like my comp playlist in here, and it's like really, really like it's my all-star playlist. And when I was sending that white one, I was actually listening to Uprising by Muse, which is my favorite artist. So yeah, that got me psyched. And yeah, it really helped the session, honestly. And it really got me into like kind of fighting comp mood. So yeah, I think I'm going to start using my MP3 player a little bit more, but I'm going to try not to like overkill it because I did listen to the whole MP3 player like 3 times today. So yeah, I don't want to wear it out for the comps. So this boulder, this was an 8, but the first move gave me a little bit of trouble. And then this final move also gave me a bit of trouble. I was trying to do the nothing to lose mindset, like really just kind of going for moves, but I wasn't quite in a good position to go for that finish hold. So I had to slow down on my next attempt, as you'll see here. And actually, once I start sticking this first move, it's like goes like every single time, which is I think like a really fun thing that happens in climbing sometimes. Like you'll notice like when you even in like a 5-on-5 off or just in general, like you'll climb to you'll get to like a really hard move, you won't send it, and then it like doesn't feel like it's possible, it feels really hard, and then all of a sudden you get it and your body just knows how to do it every time after that. Like I love those kinds of moves. So I usually shy away from repeats. Like they're always in my schedule. Like I have a lot of like repeat practice that I have in my program, but I often just default to on-sighting because it's like an on-sighting and repeat like combined session. So I really have the choice to do either or. And today I was like really feeling the repeats, and repeats are great because like oftentimes if you send something once, like you don't really know if you like got the move, you just maybe just sent it, you know. You want to learn the move and like understand the move and be really good at the move. You don't want to just send a climb with the move in it once. So I went back to a lot of boulders that I've done before here, so like the white and then the one you just saw and the slab, and I just cleaned them up, made them a bit nicer, made them faster, made them more confident. And overall, on all the moves that I tried again, I'm feeling much more confident on them. So yeah, and it's also like good because you know you can do them. So it's not like you're walking into a boulder, or maybe you could walk away without a send. Like you're most likely going to send it, and you're most likely going to send it in a better way. So repeats are kind of just a good mood booster as well. So I was in such a good mood, and I was climbing so well that I decided to get on this guy. This is another 9, and it's actually it's overhanging, and it's campus boulder. And as you know, like I said, I don't have very much power these days because of the rest month, and I'm still building it back. And it's not quite there yet, but I decided to challenge myself and see if I could do some campusing in the roof. And it turns out I could. Now also, I really like this. Like when you, sometimes like they say the title of a movie in the movie. I don't know if you guys ever like catch something like that, but I like pointing those things out. And right here, you're about to see the thumbnail, which isn't the title, but it's fun to point out like that's where the thumbnail is. Anyway, so yeah, this boulder was really pumpy, and you know, it's showing a bit of my endurance weakness. But I'm making progress through it now. Keep in mind, I'm not projecting, so I only have really a few attempts on this, and I was really just psyched to like get a little bit further on this. Unfortunately, it's very tiring, and I couldn't quite put another one on, especially with a few more climbs to come in the session. But I did have to cut myself off. But that one will definitely get sent another day because I felt really, really good on that. Especially like I did it really late in the session too, and it's quite the powerful climb. So yeah, I was just psyched to make as much progress as I did on that, and I got an epic thumbnail out of it as well. So I think it's a win-win. So right here you'll see an 8 that I'm doing. The 8 actually like kind of climbs over to the left and then back to the front. You'll notice I'm just stemming against the wall. This is my absolute strong suit. I love stemming and I love corners. And so when I saw this 8, I was like, oh, I'm going to break this. So this was actually the last climb I did, and I decided to break it. So that went, I think, as well as I thought it would. I did have to use one hold to get up there, but otherwise it's breaking. So you guys have never seen me hangboard, I don't think. You're just going to see one rep here. I'm doing a 20-second hang. I guess I'm building a little bit of endurance here. So yeah, I have very little weight. I actually started with body weight with 20-second hangs. And it was like I've been dealing with a little bit of overuse injuries on my fingers. So they're just a little bit sore. So I've been very, very careful with them. You want to be extremely careful with your fingers. So yeah, 20-second hangs, and they're very, very light. I think it's like 4 kilograms I was using. And then here we have some typewriters. Again, body weight. This is because of my golfer's elbow. I'm just completely broken. But it's still effective to just kind of train the movement and get better at that with one hand. Okay, so now we're starting our big transition of the day. So we go to Heusenstamm, and then I go to physio, and that was me walking to physio. And then after that, we took a train back to a gym called Dynochrom. Now, Dynochrom, unfortunately, they took down all the comp boulders that they had up. So, unfortunately, when I got there, I didn't really have much to send because I was planning on doing a 5-on-5 off on comp boulders. So, I didn't have any comp boulders to get on. So, instead, I decided to do a little bit of pinch block. And then I just, I guess, ditched the gym. At this point, it's like 4 or 5 p.m. So, I was not super happy to walk in and not see the comp boulders I came for. But, you know, it's all about being flexible. So they had a pinch block. Luckily, not a lot of gyms have pinch blocks. So I was able to do my pinching. And yeah, then I just got out of there. Unfortunately, it was an hour to get here from my physio. And then it's an hour to get down to Darmstadt after this. So yeah, I was a little bit out of the way. I wasn't too psyched. And actually, when I came in, the power was off. I guess there's like a bit of a storm going on today. So that was also interesting. But yeah, so we get back on the train. This is my like 3rd or 4th train ride of the day, and we're going to Darmstadt, Boulderhaus. And now it's like fully like 6 p.m., I think maybe even 7 p.m., and we're in the middle of like member hours. So I'm doing a 5-on-5 off, unfortunately. So there's people everywhere. And Zach's filming this one. He came after his studio block session today, and he joined me at Boulderwelt to Boulderhaus because it's on the way back home from studio block. So yeah, it wasn't too out of his way. In fact, it was on his way to just come and hang out with me, which is good because I never would have been able to get footage of this. So this is I think this is the 3rd boulder I did, and this one went pretty well. I was honestly just like, nice. I was gonna bail in this session for sure. Like it was touch and go. Like after I got to Dynochrom, and I was like, I don't know, like if I have the motivation to go to the gym, like again, like another train. I've already done the dry needling, which was like super sore, and I had like a long, big, good session at Boulderwelt, and I was like really, really trying to convince myself that I didn't need to go here. But this is actually bringing me into the tip of the day. And I think you'll notice a lot of my tips today are going to be kind of mental head game kind of pointed. But the tip of the day here is that consistency is the only thing that matters. As long as you show up, you just need to keep showing up. Like the way to progress in anything, like if it's sports or getting better at a skill or anything like that, it's always about just showing up every day and just getting the reps in. Whether you're given only 50% or whatever, like it's always just important that you have the habit of going and trying. So after I was at Dynochrom, and I was like, should I do this last 5-on-5 off? Like maybe I can just like skip it, do it another day, or just not neglect it today. But yeah, I willed myself to go get back on one more train and go an hour down to Darmstadt. And I'm really glad I did. Like it was a pretty bad session, to be honest. Like I only sent one boulder, and it's this one, and the other ones went really poorly, and I felt really bad. And this was like I warmed up like 3 times. Like I did climb a little bit of Dynochrom just to see, but it didn't end up working out. So yeah, here on the screen you can see all of the places I went today, up to Frankfurt, then to Dynochrom, or then to Physio, then back to Dynochrom, and then down to Darmstadt, and then back home. So it was a crazy day, and it was tiring, and by the last session here at Darmstadt, I was just completely done. I did not want to keep climbing or training, and I couldn't even stomach the thought of like doing any other exercise. So I'm having to move a couple things around again, but yeah, tip of the day is just keep showing up. Like, consistency is the key, and I've known this since I started climbing. Really, this is like hands down, this is the reason like I got good at climbing, was because I just kept showing up to the gym and trying my best. And I think specifically it kind of applied to pull-ups. I right away, like as soon as I started climbing, I started doing pull-ups, and I started like doing weighted pull-ups, and I think I did it like every other day for like a year or two. And I rarely missed days. I always showed up at the gym, and the weights just, slowly got heavier and heavier. And then I saw my climbing ability follow. So, if anyone ever has if there's ever one piece of advice that people are asking me, and like, how do I get better at wall climbing? I think it's not even about like the little things. Like a lot of training does work. Like, you can do this or you can do that, or lots of people have different opinions. Like Zach and I train very differently, but we both like kind of get to the direction we want. And there's like little tweaks we can add here and there, little beta help and little like physio or whatever. But I think at the end of the day, it's all about just like showing up and like just trying your best. So yeah, like when you start taking like months off, or you skip today, or you make a habit of skipping training or skipping your workout, or you just do something inconsistently, that's when you don't see results. And as long as you just stick to something and just like don't stop, that's the key. So yeah, we're one day away from our rest week, which is really solid because I'm definitely needing it at this point. I probably needed it a bit more like last week when I was like fully fatigued and I could not get through every training session. But now that I'm like on the other side of it, I'm like, okay, yeah, I could use rest week, but it's not the most important at this point. But I'm glad to have it, and it's important. So yeah, one rest week, and then we got a comp that Zach's doing on Saturday, and I will be filming him.